David Des Roches is there for us. He's an associate professor at the Near East South Asia Center at the National Defense University. David, great to have you on. Right now, that question that I was speaking with Andy about, do you think Donald Trump is bluffing, or is he serious that the US will get involved and attack Iran directly alongside Israel?
Hard to tell, and the reason why is what Israel is doing right now, systematically destroying Iran's nuclear program, their air defenses, and their ballistic missile capacity. Those are longstanding American goals. So I think that even if he does not intend to have American forces involved in this, what he is doing is kind of indirectly supporting the Israeli effort, because by keeping the possibility of some American action on the table, he's forcing Iran to take some of their increasingly scarce air defense assets, particularly long-range aircraft detection, and divert them against a possible American threat. The second benefit is, of course, he's deterring. Iranian leaders of all kinds have said, if we're ever attacked, we don't care who it's from, we're going to attack the United States, and we're going to attack the countries that host the United States, to include Turkey. But by having this large presence here, there's a deterrence on that to say, okay, Iran, do you really want to come after us? Because if you do, you think you've got problems now, you're going to have big problems.
And just on that point that Iran says it will directly attack countries that host the US, of course, you mean US assets, US bases, what else? You mentioned Turkey, of course, it would be other Arab countries in the region. Can you be a bit more specific?
Yeah, well, so the Iranian regime has a number of people who are authorized to speak on its behalf, and then they have a number of people who have no government position. But obviously, if you speak publicly about Iranian policy and you're not in agreement with Iranian policy, you're not going to be speaking publicly for very long. So they have said that any country that hosts, allows overflight, allows passage, or in any way supports the American military, they will attack it. So that would include, there are American troops in Egypt, but it would also include things like Egypt permitting use of the Suez Canal for the U.S. Navy to transit. In Turkey, the issue, of course, is the American presence at NATO bases. There are no sovereign American bases in Turkey, but there's an American presence at a NATO base that the Turkish government hosts. And there are various arrangements in other countries, but pretty much every country that is friendly to the United States has some sort of an American military presence. The place where we're most vulnerable is Iraq. And that's just because our presence is so small, and Iran still has a relatively unscathed large number of militias that are paid by the Iraqi government but are loyal to Iran.
David, something that I haven't really heard discussed much, I understand with regards to Israel itself having nuclear capabilities, that's something that I think by policy it doesn't, it doesn't admit, it doesn't deny. Can you clarify that for us, and what possibilities are there that could be an option?
I have never heard any sober analysts say that Israel would use their nuclear capability unless they thought that they were on the verge of being completely wiped out. So I think that's their ultimate thing. I think that their nuclear capability stems from their strategic culture, which is shaped by the trauma of the Israeli narrative is, our people, the Jewish people in Europe, were being systematically wiped out and the world did nothing. So we have to have every level of self-reliance to prevent this from happening again. But I've never heard of any plans for operational or tactical use of any Israeli weapon, except in the case of, dire case of national survival. But it's an understudied area.
Yeah, that's really good to clarify. Thank you for that. David Des Roches speaking to us there from Washington, D.C. Always a pleasure to have you on the program. Thank you for your time and thoughts. Thank you.